Oh,
that's fine.
No, madam, try.
No.
This couple faced a challenge that made them go bankrupt, and they had been living badly in a rich neighborhood. Today, they have no choice but to move and return to the village. Nearby, there were three women, Eno, Queen and Imade, who were extremely happy that their neighbors were living, and they boasted that they themselves had money. Living in that area is no joke. A few days later, another couple moved into the neighborhood. They entered the same house the first couple had left, arriving in a Rolls Royce. Now, they were the new owners of the house. The man is called Ekene and the lady is called Demilade. Ekene gave instructions to the driver to bring in the other cars and luggage. As they were arriving, Queen was outside her house watching them and called her friends to inform them that new people had arrived so they could meet and see if she was worthy of joining them. Demilade loved the house very much. Ekene told her that once she entered the bedroom that she might lose her breath because of how beautiful it was. The room was huge and everything smelled like money. He then handed her the house documents. He bought the entire house for his wife, even though they had only been married for 2 years. While celebrating, someone knocked. Demilade went to check. It was Queen and her friends, complaining why she delayed opening the door. They said they saw the cars and assumed a new neighbor had moved in. Demilade confirmed and said her husband bought the house as a 2-year marriage gift. Queen bragged that her own husband bought her a house in the Bahamas for only 1 year of marriage, and she introduced herself as Mrs. Queen Dekan, wife of international businessman Honorable Tunji Dekan, together with her friends Imade and Eno. They said they came to welcome her to the neighborhood. Demilade sarcastically asked why they came empty-handed, but thanked them and excused herself, saying she wanted to go bathe her husband with kisses. They invited her to a residents' meeting on Sunday at Queen's house and she agreed. After she left, the ladies discussed her confidence and predicted she would not last long because she came with competition. Back inside, Demilade told Ekene about them and called them witches jokingly. She said she would attend the meeting because she wanted to disrupt them so they would know who she was. That night she organized her expensive bags. The next morning she went jogging and met a man named Greg in short, who worked at Whitewood Company owned by his uncle. They talked and she learned about the women's meeting. Mostly housewives attend and they compete about money and fashion. They agreed to become friends. Later, Ekene's relatives visited his office accusing him of abandoning family and spending money on his wife. They claimed she only loved him for money. He defended his wife and sent them away angrily. The meeting day finally came. The women mocked the previous woman who had gone bankrupt and moved away, who happened to be also their former president. Demilade arrived late and paid the fine with a huge bundle of cash for lateness. Then they announced a new president election because the former one had moved away. Queen nominated himself. Demilade also gave a speech about leadership with love and unity. They rejected her because she had not lived there for 6 months, but Adegoke nominated her due to her humility. She and Queen became rivals. Afterwards, Adegoke warned Demilade that Queen married for money and would do anything to win the presidency. Later at a restaurant, Ekene embarrassed her with his behavior. She felt ashamed when Greg saw it. They grew closer through chats and jogging. Greg even asked her to lunch. Meanwhile, Imade was secretly paying someone money. Queen's marriage was abusive. Her husband beat her often. One night, Greg and Damilade danced together at a party and someone photographed them. Ekene saw the photo and confronted her. She explained nothing happened and asked him to check her messages. He forgave her but warned her never to talk to Greg again. The next morning, Ekene cried. His shipping containers burned at the port and they lost everything. Falling into heavy debt, their wealth disappeared and the house was to be sold. They became broke. Damilade later asked Greg for loan to start a business. He instead asked for one night with her in exchange for double the money. She slapped him and left. Imade then revealed Greg had been the one blackmailing her for years, using a recorded kiss, and she was paying him to keep quiet. She warned Damilade to stay away. At home, Damilade considered leaving Ekene but instead sold her expensive bags for 110 million naira to help them restart life. She chose to stay with her husband out of true love. Weeks later, she continued campaigning and eventually won the presidency of the Women's Association. That night, Queen's husband beat her again after losing. Damilade rescued her and brought her home. The women finally opened up about their struggles, abuse, infertility, blackmail, realizing each had hidden pain behind wealth and status. For the first time, Queen broke down emotionally. All the pride she had been showing the neighborhood disappeared. She admitted she had endured the abuse for years just to maintain the image of wealth and status. Eno and Imade later heard what happened and came over. Instead of their usual competition, they were quiet. The truth about everyone was now coming out. Imade confessed about Greg's blackmail and how she had been secretly paying him to protect her marriage, and also revealed problems in her own marriage that she had been hiding. They realized all of them had been pretending, fighting to look richer and happier than others while suffering privately. Damilade reminded them that money and class meant nothing without peace. That was the real lesson. From that day, their relationship changed, the rivalry reduced, and they began acting like real neighbors instead of enemies. In the end, it turns out that Damilade's husband was pretending all along just to see if his wife truly loves her, and they bonded happily. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more.